Warzone 2 right now is in a terrible state, with numerous content creators either taking a break or just quitting the game completely, the Steam player count dropping and hitting an all-time low, and more or less the community feedback just feeling a frustrated player experience that you guys might be experiencing as well. I made a list. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that I think need to be changed in Warzone 2 for it to resurface at what it once was in Warzone 1. Here's a reward for the hardest challenge in Call of Duty history. And here's the second variation of that just for 2,400 COD points. And if that last one wasn't your taste, there's a third variation as well that costs 2,400 COD points in the item store you guys can get. As respectfully as I can be, yes, this makes sense in the business world. Capitalize on as much money as you guys can get from your consumer, but it's hard for me to believe that that person who made that call to understand how that player feels who have just been rewarded the most unique skin of the game, and then see two variations of a cooler looking skin of the one you're rocking with some cool light up effects and even a crazy looking weapon, when this is the effort they put into the blueprint that you were rewarded for free. I'm not even asking you guys to put more effort into the design or to make it more unique, because I know it's free and you guys don't make money off of it in sale purchases and all that stuff. The fact that you guys stripped away the whole idea of just being unique and actually showing off the skin that you were rewarded for completing the hardest challenge of Call of Duty history, just to throw that away and make as much money as you guys possibly can by reselling the skin in a cooler variation. If you're gonna add a reward to the hardest challenge in Call of Duty history, don't just go ahead and make a different variation of that and resell it in the next update. As a player and consumer of your guys' game, it just feels like you guys are constantly attacking our wallets with low effort in just ways that kind of don't feel right in a way. Let's continue the topic about the bundles. Here's a new bundle that just released called the Golden Blossom. Here's the Ram 7, an MW 2019 bundle with similar tracer rounds, and I mean, you guys tell me if it looks alike. Another example is the MW 2019 Gold Camo, a bundle that just released called 2019 for the Lockman sub. The only difference is from those two is that this one costs money, the other one was rewarded through camo challenges. Same thing goes for the MW 2019 Damascus skin. The hardest to obtain skin is now available in the COD store. You guys could purchase as well. And just one more example, this is the Malphus bundle from MW 2019 on the AS Val, and I do miss that gun. Here's another variation of that, but again in Warzone 2. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because the community was pretty heartbroken when we found out our camos and bundles weren't going to go ahead and transfer over to Warzone 2, which by all means, it didn't catch me by surprise, but I get it. But it doesn't help your guys' case when skins are just being imported and sold again. I'm just asking you guys come up with newer themes and stuff that actually makes me feel unique when I'm using the weapon, which you seem like Treyarch and both Sledgehammer was actually able to capitalize on. Bundles came with a crazy looking character, if not one, two different types of weapons that had unique tracer rounds, weapon inspects, kill effects, as well as assassinations. Now here's a bundle that costs 1,800 COD points. Now in the store today, it just seems like we're filling up slots to fill them up at a high price. And let's take this for example. Let's just say I'm a big fan of this character skin. You know what? I want to go ahead and buy both these variations of skin. Well, personally, I don't see that worth 1,800 COD points. I would need a weapon skin as well. There's nothing unique about this. Matter of fact, this is respectfully a very low effort, just chrome looking weapon. It seems just to have been put there to fill a slot up to raise the price. How Fortnite does is they put the character skin and then they put the weapon skin. And if you want to buy both of them, you get them at a sale discount. But if you just want to buy the gun or you just want to buy the character, you could do that. I can't imagine someone saying, I would love to buy this gun. It looks crazy, it looks cool, I gotta get it. Matter of fact, some of these guns even say pro tune, but I don't even know what that means. But let me just say, pro tuning a weapon is not a selling point to have a higher price. You cannot just put little effort into the actual design of the weapon and just say it's pro tuned to raise the price at 1,600 COD points. This is not worth 1,600 COD points. And on the same note, who's the pro behind the scenes tuning these weapons? How can I trust them? I would love to see their gameplay. I would love to even feel how the gun is, because I can't test this gun out until I purchase it. It's like if you wanted to purchase a brand new car and you go to the dealership and say, hey, can I test drive this new car? And then they look you in the eyes and say, no, you can't test drive it, but the guy in the back says it's really fast and it feels good. That's it. How does that even make sense? Matter of fact, let's just say you do purchase it and you want to test out the weapon, and then you realize, you know what? This sight is atrocious. I don't want it, but the gun feels good. By removing just one attachment, you lose the tuning on all the other attachments. I don't want the sight anymore. Altering the blueprint will remove all tuning manufacturing settings. Do you wish to continue? Sure. And I lose all the pro tuning for every single attachment. Look at the bundles that were released at the end of Warzone 1 during Caldera Fortune's Keep and the last year of Rebirth. The uniqueness, animations of what was actually included in the bundle. And two weapons, which is black and green, that's pro tuned, is not worth 2,000 COD points. As a matter of fact, it just feels like the lower the effort and the higher the price. And I'm trying to just be as respectful as I can. Pro tuning a weapon isn't a reason to raise the price on a gun. The next thing I want to talk about is weapon balancing, and the biggest elephant in the room, and to something I would love to see answered. The one-shot sniper was added into the game with, you know, use a certain attachments like a fire round, and you were able to one-shot. Although you guys did not want one-shot snipers in the game, you guys decided to nerf it, I think, in 48 hours, and it was gone. A high skill to use weapon, rewarded for headshots, gone. It's okay. It wasn't what you guys wanted. Now, not long after that, the fire shotgun, which was super easy to use than the sniper, quick to put players down was frustrating to go up against, but just super easy to use, was in the game, and it wasn't for a couple days you guys didn't nerf it. Now, my personal opinion with just my experiences and what I think, it just feels like because the weapon was in the battle pass and it pushed players to wanting to buy that weapon because it was a newer weapon and there's possibly bundles coming out for it, like the Shredder bundle, which released not too long after. Keeping that weapon in the game longer benefited you guys a lot more financially because it was almost like free advertisement to get the weapon in the battle pass because it's a newer weapon to use. So I would like to know why weapons are balanced the way they are, and so I would like to know like the reasoning behind that weapon balancing for future cases. But aside from those two guns, there's the idea that these are the most balanced weapons we've had in a long time in Warzone 2. That's kind of what I was told. But just so you guys know, the only reason why weapons are quote unquote balanced is probably results in the low TTK. Everyone's walking around with 50 HP. It's pretty easy to just land 2 shots and then put the player down and then on to the next gunfight. So yes, the weapons are balanced because it takes 1 shot to kill somebody, but there's other things you guys got to take into account outside of just damage. There's mobility, ADS, sprint to fire time, bullet velocity, damage range, recoil. There's more to it than just looking at the damage numbers. And with the countless attachments that have almost little to no difference than the other one, what's the difference between this one and this one and this one and this one and this one? There's little to no difference in the attachments that just creates an overwhelming experience for the players, including myself. So while you guys do have over 100 or 1,000 attachments for each weapon, people are only really using 4 of them. Back on the topic of weapon metas, what keeps the game so fresh is actually having updates every week or so. Right now, we've had 2 big updates, I believe, in the last over 100 days, and the game gets stale over time, and it's almost not fun to play anymore, which is why I think a lot of players are kind of leaving. Again, I don't know who I speak for in the comment section below. Let me know your guys' opinion, because I will be sending this over to the Call of Duty team to hear their thoughts on everything. But if the games are hitting sales and the games where you guys want it to be and the player count's there, then just kind of disregard what I'm saying, because you guys are probably doing everything right. Our next topic is DMZ, and I'm no DMZ player, but I have played it a couple times to understand the slow tactical gameplay with AI bots and all these experiences that slow down the traditional Call of Duty arcade shooter. Although it's not the game for me, I know there's people who play, and that's fantastic. I'm happy for you guys. That's great. It's kind of like Plunder back in Warzone 1. I didn't play it, but you know, people did. It had a community. Awesome. But right now, it does seem like DMZ, AI bots, and that slow tacticalness is being pushed on to every other community, whether they want it or not. Let's take the buy station, for example. Who in Resurgence or Battle Royale is running to a buy station to buy a decoy grenade? Who's going over there crossing their fingers that they're going to get a chance to buy a recon drone? Now, let's just say we take out anything useless or shouldn't be in the buy station. Give or take, you have about 8 to 7 items here that are actually useful in a Battle Royale or Resurgence environment. By having too many items, you guys just cluster the buy station and make it more confusing and overwhelming. In fact, these are 3 different buy stations in the same game. You had one where the UAV was located at the bottom, one where it was located on the far right. The last one during fire sale, you had 2 slots for 2 UAVs that should be in the same slot. So it's buggy and inconsistent. So if you want to quickly go and buy a UAV, you kind of got to search and actually look at the buy station, because it's not the same each time. And not even at the amount of RNG and luck there is to actually just praying to God there's a 1 UAV left at the buy station should not be in the game. It creates a frustrating experience knowing that I have to cross my fingers and hope that a little Timmy and Billy didn't get to the buy station and buy a UAV before me. So if I journey across the map to hit a buy station, I should be rewarded for UAV. And although maybe you don't want it spammed up to reward the aggressive players who are earning cash from kills or contracts or looting, if that's something you guys want to slow down, why not make UAVs more expensive as you buy them? First UAV 4K, second one 45, 5K, and so on. Something I've learned in Warzone 1 and Warzone 2. The more luck that's in the game, the more frustrated the player is going to be. And right now, we're up here. Buy stations now have RNG. The gunfight's low TTK and inconsistent audio now has RNG. And even the buy station locations are just almost non-existent. Take a look at one of my games. This is where all the buy stations are. If I were to draw a line straight down the map, the amount of buy stations on the left-hand side are definitely more on than on the right. But if you were to land residential or anywhere in this area in red, they're going to be contested. So you're going to have to fight an RNG fight. And it just creates a frustrating environment that your landing spot now is all based around whether or not it has a buy station. And buy stations are so unique because ask yourself this, what made Call of Duty Warzone 1 so different, so fun? Being able to customize your gun, buy it from a loadout, run and gun, try out different weapons of the players you guys kill, the movement, which we'll get into in a bit. Looking at a graph like this, it just seems like you guys are trying to make it more and more difficult to obtain your guys' guns by limiting the amount of buy stations. Don't get me wrong, I love that you could buy your guns from the buy station, but that's hard to do when there's limited amount of buys, especially when the zone shrinks and the next zone is looking something like this, where there's 1 or 2 buy stations left and not even that limited gas mask as well, and they close. Right now, the game is very just who sees who first, with especially the low audio being such a frustrating experience. Trying to learn the ideology of why you guys are making that. For me, I always go back to the answer that you're just trying to lower the skill gap in any way, shape, or form, so the game is just all RNG and luck, slowing the game down, making it like a game like Tarkov where just you got to ADS every corner, which that game is not bad, but we're playing a Call of Duty, an arcade shooter, so slowing things down like the animation, which the dolphin dive is completely useless. Show me a clip where someone's sliding and does something cool. No matter of fact, show me a clip where anyone has any crazy moment in the game. Unfortunately, whether intentionally or not, this game has single-handedly killed the sniping community, the movement community, but slowly coming back, but originally was taken away, the loadout community, or just using your custom loadouts. And also just the fun experience of like LTMs. We've had 2 LTMs in the last 100+ days of Warzone 2. Now, I kind of figure out how Warzone 2 works. You have the top dog. You have different studios taking care of different things. What studio's taking care of the LTMs? Because it's not right for you guys to say a squad size is a LTM. To me, that just shows low effort, that it just changing the amount of players you could play within a party is considered an LTM. Back in Warzone 1, we had buyback solos. We had the Halloween event. We had the April Fool's event. We had so many events that were actually fun and stuff to look forward to for the weekend or just a few days. But in this game, we're crossing our fingers and praying that the LTM is squad size so we could play with our friends or play solo like I like to. I'm not even gonna charge for this, just credit me, but here's some Ashika Island LTMs you guys can take. Prop hunt with a continuous zone closing. Gun game where every zone we're spawned in with a new random weapon. Infected with voted loadouts before the game. Cranks for the movement players, so every time you get a kill, your speeds up. And snipers only, which we did have for 2 days, which was a lot of fun. And that's the whole idea. To have fun. LTMs are to have fun. There might be a lot of players, there might not be, but an LTM is just to have fun with your friends and look forward to something for the weekend where you just maybe don't want to sweat out in a regular game. Now, Modern Warzone did a tweet talking about, would you guys go back to Warzone 1 and Warzone 2? And let me know in the comment section below. But within 48,000 votes, 83% of them said they would rather return to Warzone 1 than play Warzone 2. If right now, the only thing available in Warzone 1 is Caldera, and it was a god-awful map. People love the mechanics so much. Just imagine they brought back Verdansk, Rebirth, or even Fortune's Keep. It almost seems like they were forced to take out those maps to push their player base onto Warzone 2 and just to do whatever they want with it, because there's not much we could do. Matter of fact, I guarantee you if they added Fortune's Keep into Warzone 1, there'd be a higher player count for a weekend or so on that game than in Warzone 2. Seems like we have so much going on, and there's going to be so much more going on, yet there's only one playstyle and only one way to play every single title. For instance, we have Warzone Battle Royale, Resurgence, Raids, DMZ, multiplayer, ranked play, and you guys are now bringing back Plunder, which is great. I love having options to play different things when those things are actually good and made for that type of player. For instance, if I go to Ashika Island, why on earth did you guys add bots on the first update? And then on the second update, add more bots. Bots, strongholds, black sites, that should just be in DMZ. That is what DMZ is for. DMZ is for this slower player who wants to shoot bots and play more tactical. That's great. That is the type of player they are doing, and they should have the experience they came for. That's what DMZ should be about. Opposed to Resurgence, where it's just a run and gun simulator. You want to run and gun, and as soon as Resurgence closes, that's where things kind of start to heat up. More or less, I shouldn't have to force myself to play more tactical just to secure a win. Resurgence, the gunfights should be quick, fun, fast-paced, and it should be energized. That's the dopamine that comes with Resurgence. Yet I feel like a lot of the players are being forced to play a lot slower and more tactical just to cater towards the DMZ style play style that, to be honest, I'm not a fan of. Yes, I'm sure that one time you play Raid is great and all, but there's no replayability feature. There's no reason to play Raid twice. It's one mission only, then you gotta wait till another season. Because at the end of the day, what made Call of Duty resurface and almost at the top of every other game was Warzone. So the fact that it feels like Warzone is just getting low content, the amount of bugs keep rising, and the priorities from the people at the top of Call of Duty right now are just shifting over to DMZ and Raids when those weren't the game modes that kind of uplifted the game. Definitely puts a bad taste in my mouth, and I hopefully, you know, the priorities could shift a little bit. Or not even that, but just actually catering towards all the players and opening up different play styles for people to have their own player identity. And that's pretty much it. You've taken away movement, sniping, everything as a whole is now gone, and everyone's just now pointing, and whoever sees who first gets the kill. Now, in short, my opinions are, can Warzone come back from this? Yes, but it's not just with one update. With everything I listed, it just seems like I personally and a lot of the community has lost trust in the people who are running and shot calling Warzone 2. Not that I'll never get it back, but just continuously good updates. Not just one, but continuously good updates and showing us that you guys care. Personally, in my experience, it just feels like my wallet's constantly getting attacked while there's not enough content on the game, and let alone the stuff that is being advertised to purchase really isn't even that much. And the amount of RNG and luck in the game is just so frustrating. It's hard for me to enjoy the game. And yes, until then, I'll still upload Warzone content, but for the most part, I'm going to be diversifying my content, which I'm super excited for with IRL and Fortnite. It's just stuff that I've noticed I've had so much fun in. And if I want to deliver the energy and the positivity that I like to advertise on my channel, then I got to play something that is not going to drive me crazy. Warzone, I hope you guys make the comeback, and thank you for watching.